Yo, welcome back to another video. My name is Rev. I make music as Summer Starved. I'm a record producer, songwriter, joyful noise chaser. So glad to have you with us. Today's video was inspired by a recent interview I did on the Renoise podcast. My guest for this particular podcast was Alex Fulton. He's a New York-based artist, producer, mix engineer, and recently, as of 2020, jumped out and started his own business called Fulton Street Music Group. What they specialize in is syncing, which is getting your music put into ads, videos, anything with picture. They work with Netflix, John Deere, Nike, all over the place. So they're really doing great work. It's a great interview. You definitely got to check that out. He's got a lot of knowledge about the industry and yeah, really cool. One of the things he talked about was when he's mixing, he uses ProQ 3, which is a plugin, an EQ plugin that's incredible. It's one of the only things I use on all my tracks. And that plus a widening effect. The particular plugin he uses is Wider, and that's a free plugin, which I'll link in the description below that you can get. So you can take a look at what he had to say, and then I'll jump in and show you what I did with it.
Go to Polyverse's site and download Wider. Wider is a free stereo imager. And
all right, Wider. Never heard of it.
Sick. It's amazing. But basically what it does is like, it gives you a larger like stereo image. And I mean, there's a bunch of plugins that do it. I just really like the way that one does. It's really easy. It's like one little thing that's like 100%, 200%. And it's awesome. But like what I'm doing is taking stuff like the tambourine and the shaker and putting a Q3, like FabFilter Q3 on it. And then dropping like a node in that like 16K hertz range. You pair that with something with wider. So what the mid side is doing is like, it's adding that EQ bump. I'm putting like a little bump there, and oftentimes it's dynamic. So it's only happening when those frequencies are being hit.
All right, we're here in Ableton. And what I want to experiment with is stereo imaging, particularly for percussion elements. So we got this here loop here. Pat Van Dyke in the house. PVD music, check them out. I just cropped that sample so that it's basically only this little part. Turn on the metronome. Okay, cool. So that's there. I'm going to go into my samples and let's just bring up some shaker. Okay, so we'll put that shaker in here. Cool. So I'm just going to grab 1 to 3, hit Command L, right click, and then crop that sample. And there's this interesting thing you can double right here. You could either slow the shaker down by half or double speed it. So super slow. Cool. So what he was talking about specifically is using ProQ. This is a go-to that, oh man, once I discovered it, I couldn't undiscover it. And a lot of folks talked about it. Definitely not the cheapest plugin, but the most used plugin I think I have. So what I'm going to do is cut out the lows here. And what he was talking about is kind of taking, what you can do is grab this part here, and what it does is like, it boosts this certain frequency. I'm going to make it larger. It boosts this certain frequency when it comes in. And you can tell how much it boosts it. Or you could have it being cut. So anytime that frequency comes in, instead of cutting everything, it's just going to pinpoint right into wherever you put this node, particularly on that frequency. Like I can move it down here. And anytime this, I'll just, you can use the headphones. You're finding these particular frequencies you like or don't like, and you can either have them compressed, dynamically brought down when those frequencies come in, or actually dynamically push up. Just gonna give it a little boost. Maybe slow this down. Woo, double time. So as I open this up, what you're seeing is this particular frequency is being boosted every time that comes through, which is kind of cool. Then he said to widen it, so I actually downloaded this particular plugin called the Polyverse Wider. And now let's see what happens when we start to really spread it out. Here's what it sounds like without it. And then with it. I think it sounds a little too chorusy, this particular plugin, but I could see how, if you had it low in the mix, maybe bring this. He was kind of referring to them as like little ear candy things that you can just have in there. Brain ticklers. I love that term. Maybe sidechain maybe let's sidechain compress. Look up glue compressor, and I'll throw that on here, and then I'll click this little button, sidechain to the kick. And what's cool here is you can actually, since this is not particularly a kick, it's actually a full stereo drum break, I can actually use this EQ. I can actually use this EQ here to hone in particularly what sonic information I want to trigger the sidechain. I'll show you. So now it'll only be sidechained when this particular frequency comes in. I'm going to duplicate that and bring this one down. And then what I'm actually going to do is take these two, cut them, and I'll add the EQ and wider on the group bus. So I'll just call this shaker bus, and I have what I'll do is just paste those two plugins, which is the EQ with this little dynamic emphasis, and then this widener plugin on the high shaker and the low shaker together. So I'll make sure to take this off here. And then actually the whole thing, I'll actually put the glue compressor sidechain element on this group. So essentially we'll have these two shakers being affected by the EQ plus the widener plus the compressor. Very cool. Yeah, when you listen to it by itself, it's almost its own rhythmic element already, which is kind of cool. Again, this is it without it. Plus EQ, wider, and glue compressor. Beautiful. All right, so there you have it. You take ProQ 3, you use the dynamic function, you put the wider on it, you get it spreading out. It's a beautiful, full spectrum, one side to the other panning experience. Try it out, free plugin, go check it out. Yeah, if you enjoy the videos, go ahead and like, subscribe, send me flowers. Until next time, keep making noise, y'all. Peace.